welcome everybody to the 4:30 work session for the March 3rd Board of Commissioners work session. I know several of you are here for the meeting that's going to follow immediately after the work session, which is going to be the public hearing for Cutoff Road. Work session agenda is brief. It's to go through employee updates with some of our department heads, then we'll have general discussion for any topics that are there. Then we'll adjourn the work session and just immediately call the other meeting to order. So that way, for anybody that's here, we wanted to schedule them as close to back-to-back as possible. But we'd like to thank everybody for being here. The first item, as it says, is employee updates. I know that we are kind of condensed on time a little bit more, so I'm not going to try to call individually each department head. I'm going to kind of call on if you have an update for your department. If you wouldn't mind, just raise your hand and I'll call on you and we'll move through it that way. And I know there's a couple that need to, so if none of you raise your hand, I will point at that point. But nobody's starting. Mr. Jones, I won't go ahead and call you out. So.
All right, so Recreation Department ended up with around 585 kids playing t-ball, baseball, and softball. Registration ended this past Sunday. We'll have skills evaluation and draft this coming Saturday, and opening day for the Board of Commissioners is March the 26th. We'll have that on Field 3, provided the weather's good. Other than that, we're getting ready for ball. Practices will start next week. Finishing up with basketball, while we don't sanction all-stars, we do allow teams to go. And this past weekend, the 7-8 girls team won the District 5 Class C championship, beat Fannin County at Fannin County, and it's the first time we've won a district championship since 2014. So I'll get them in the newspaper next week. So it was played 3 games in one day. It was an interesting experience. So, but
and you coached that team, didn't you?
I was the coach. My daughter's on the team, but we had a good squad, faced some good teams, and we were lucky enough to win a championship there at the end. So.
Yeah, appreciate it. Field-wise, or I know we've got the fields over at the city park and our fields. Are we? With the number we've got, are we going to be? Yeah,
so field-wise, we're doing good. We'll use the city, hopefully the upper field for games, provided it's still holding a lot of water. Even after the beautiful weather we've had, it's still holding a lot of water. We'll try to run some games over there if we can. If we can't, we'll use the city for practice space only. But I think the fields that we got, we should be fine. So, yep, doing good. Be a lot of people there for opening day though. A lot of people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Mr. Fry had his hand up over in the planning. And
I was just trying to help start it going along. But
I appreciate you being willing to
we had a total number of permits of 177 with 74 building permits, staying pretty much in line with what we did last year. I also want to touch on some of our road closings that are coming up. I'll let Kirk elaborate if he needs to, but Mr. Cone and I talked, and he's going to have that first closing through the 9th of March, and then the 14th through the 23rd also, and that would be at the same times, and then April 4th through April 6th, and then he should be through. Now, he's had a lot of problems with placing those poles over the high lines, and Kirk may know more about it than I do. He also wants to have that closing on Sunday and Saturday from 7 to 5, and that way you can get a lot of stuff done. It takes him a couple hours to set that truck up, and like I said, Kirk might be able to give you more information on that.
And just for anybody that doesn't know the roads he's talking about, the Cove Road, the company that's handling the Georgia Transmission power line replacement, which is the changing from the wooden poles to the big mega metal poles, has a crane that they're coming in to set those up, and they're having to shut down a section of Cove Road while they set each pole because the crane takes up both lanes of traffic. It affects the area between Old Bill White and the roundabout at Steve Tate, but the best detour route is really McLean Mountain Road, because Old Mill White is a gravel road that you get across the stream and do all kind of fun off-road adventures. So if you're in a four-wheel drive, it's a great detour. If you're in a Mercedes, I wouldn't recommend it at all. So they're extending the dates because they've ran into some slower issues. We'll get a little bit more firm before we kind of send that out. I know last week we sent it out on social media and sent it to the Progress and to a few places. And then we'll firm those dates up to make a send out there. But Kirk, did you guys, I know you talked to them.
Yeah, I went out there today and I talked to the foreman, they said it's just going a little bit slower than what they're expecting it to. It's having a hard time with the terrain. It's been so hilly setting up the crane. I mean, that crane is just massive. It just blew my mind how big that thing is, but they're just having trouble adjusting it to the terrain. So every time they tear it down and set it back up, it's taking a little bit extra time to do their setting. But I mean, they're working hard and they're trying to get it done as fast as they can. As far as what I've got going on, while we had the road closed down, we skimmed across the potholes there below recycling that were so bad. I'd like to thank Moss Paving, they jumped on that while we had the road closed. It was a good time. They got on that and got it knocked out today. And otherwise, we're wide open. We're widening Hill City Road. We're getting ready for a summer paving. So we're widening on Hill City Road. We got pipes that we replaced on Apple Lane, and we got down Double Branches and Tate. We're replacing a lot of the driveway pipes and stuff down there. So if we come across our crew down there, just kind of bear with us. We're getting ready for summer paving.
Yeah, the timing worked out great for the warm weather and the road closure. Is you can't put asphalt in other weather situations, so it warmed up right at the time that the road was already closed. So that's pretty neat that he got up there. Anything planning development of roads? Any other departments want to jump in?
We're pressing right along. Randy's trying to get us an air conditioner. It's hot air and hot outside. I'm not sure which one. We're pretty warm right now.
Yes.
Y'all were complaining about being cold when it was cold outside. So
We're not complaining about being cold right now. It's a different week now.
every time the seasons shift back and forth, these systems don't shift with it.
I would like to say one thing. The water department, we are working on getting it to where we can send the water bills via email. We're working with our billing program, and we're trying to get a database built up for them to start, and it's going to cut our cost in probably by 75% if we can get majority of our customers on the email list. You'll get the email, you won't get a paper bill, but to try to beat the mail system, we're working on trying to, because we've had a lot of customers over the last couple of years ask about it, and so we finally, the billing company they can do it. So we're working on that. Hopefully in a couple of months we'll have that up and going.
That's one revenue stream that I'd like to see us cut out is late fees, because people then would have a way to do it. And I mean, if you hate people paying late fees on paying bills, if you can find a way for them not to, that'd be better. Another update for the water department that I'm sure Mr. Dean really wanted to tell everybody about is the Jail and Bail program with the First Readers Association, where they get to go around and make some arrests throughout the county. They've issued a jail and bail warrant for Mr. Philip Dean. And do you know the date of your arrest?
Yes, April 26th.
April 26th.
I will
So
have
if
my
anyone sees him
hearing-
trying to leave town between now and April 26th, bring him back. We're trying to arrange to ensure that he does get tased when they come to pick him up.
You're the second person that said that.
He's also trying to raise his bail money to help support the First Readers Foundation in Pickens County. So that's why I bring it up. Anyone that's willing to make a donation toward First Readers to help get him out of jail. I would recommend you wait until he's been there for a couple hours, but then that way he can see what it feels like.
Hey, there's a restaurant close by, so I'll sit a couple hours. That's fine.
So, but no, Philip, I appreciate him volunteering or voluntolding, whichever one you want to call it, that he jumped right in to do that. And he hasn't complained too much, so.
It's fun. It's been fun so far. The pictures, the other day that was fun. So it's gonna be a fun go. And I know there's several other detainees I'm gonna try to put an escape route together with a couple of them. I'm not gonna say no names, but there's one or two close by, so I'm gonna, work something out, cause I do have a couple guys that work for me, so, you know.
Hence the reason for tasing you. That's used to you when you're laying flopping on the floor. But,
Yeah.
all right, well, that's, for as far as employee and department head updates, I appreciate it. Any general discussion that, any other topics, right? I know we've got a pretty full agenda for our meeting at 5:30 that we're gonna go through, so anyone that's staying for that, we do have quite a few items that we'll go through that we'll tackle there. But, at this time, I'd like to adjourn us at 4:41 from our work session. And if anyone needs to leave before I call the next meeting, it'll give you a chance. If y'all need to step out, then I'm going to leave a pause here for a minute before we go straight into our called public hearing.